Logan Paul WarGames replacement. They played us. They played every single one of us, and we fell for it like marks in the front row eating up a worked shoot promo. Logan Paul stood in that ring on Raw, playing the hero, playing the babyface comeback story we've seen 1,000 times, and we wanted to believe it. We wanted to believe the YouTuber turned prizefighter had finally seen the light, finally understood what it means to earn respect in this business. Then he ripped the mask off and showed us exactly who he's always been. An opportunist with a smile that cuts deeper than any superkick. The main event told us everything we needed to know. Punk and Jey Uso, two men who've bled for this business in ways Logan Paul will never understand, got dismantled. Not just beaten, dismantled. The Vison and their newest recruit didn't just win a match, they sent a message written in violence and betrayal. Paul Heyman's alliance just got the kind of star power that makes Survivor Series feel less like a tradition and more like an execution. And here's the knife twist that nobody saw coming. Logan Paul isn't just joining the Vison for some random beatdown or a throwaway segment. He's stepping into WarGames. He's replacing Seth Rollins. Let that sink in for a second. Seth Rollins, the architect, the visionary, the man who's carried Raw on his back for years, who's put on clinic after clinic, who's given everything he has to that red brand, even when his body was screaming at him to stop. Seth Rollins, who was supposed to lead the Vison into the most brutal match in wrestling, is out with an injury that couldn't have come at a worse time. And his replacement? A part-timer who shows up when it's convenient, drops a few highlights for his social media empire, and disappears back to whatever podcast or energy drink commercial pays him more than WWE ever could. This isn't just a replacement. This is an insult. This is WWE looking at one of the most anticipated WarGames matches in recent memory and deciding that star power matters more than credibility, that buzz matters more than respect, that Logan Paul's Instagram followers are worth more than a decade of Seth Rollins bleeding and sweating for that company. The reports say it's done. The Maverick is in. Team Vison just traded a wrestler for an influencer, and we're all supposed to smile and pretend this makes sense. But here's what really stings, what really burns in the back of every wrestling fan's throat right now. Logan Paul is good. He's legitimately talented in that ring. He's not some celebrity train wreck stumbling through spots and getting carried by veterans. The man can work. And that almost makes it worse. Because if he was terrible, if he was embarrassing himself out there, we could dismiss this. We could laugh it off as another failed celebrity experiment. But he's not failing. He's succeeding. And every time he succeeds, every time he pulls off another picture-perfect frog splash or springboard clothesline, it proves that talent alone isn't enough anymore. It proves that no matter how good you are, no matter how much you sacrifice, someone with more followers and less scars will always get the spot you earned. Think about what Seth Rollins has done for WWE. Think about the Shield, the Authority, the Monday Night Messiah, every single reinvention and evolution he's gone through to stay relevant and valuable. Think about him wrestling with a torn MCL at WrestleMania because the show had to go on. Think about him carrying entire shows when nobody else could. And now think about Logan Paul, who wrestles maybe 5 times a year, who treats WWE like a side project between real money opportunities, stepping into Seth's spot at Survivor Series like it's just another content opportunity. The worst part? Paul Heyman knew exactly what he was doing. Paul Heyman's been around long enough to understand that bringing Logan Paul into the Vison isn't just about adding another body to WarGames. It's about creating chaos. It's about making a statement that says traditional wrestling hierarchy doesn't matter anymore, that the business Seth Rollins built his career in is changing whether the old guard likes it or not. Paul Heyman's not just building a faction, he's building a revolution, and revolutions don't care about your feelings or your history or how many 5-star matches you've had. Punk and Jey Uso learned that lesson the hard way in that main event. Two veterans who've proven themselves in every possible way got destroyed by a faction that just added a wild card nobody can predict. And now they're staring down a WarGames match where one of their opponents is a guy who doesn't need WWE, who could walk away tomorrow and still be richer and more famous than most of the locker room combined. That's not just a dangerous opponent, that's a psychological weapon. How do you intimidate someone who's already won at life? How do you threaten someone who treats your dream as a hobby? The rumor mill is already spinning, already throwing out names like Brock Lesnar as better alternatives, and they're not wrong. Brock Lesnar would bring the star power, the legitimacy, the sheer intimidation factor that makes WarGames feel like the war it's supposed to be. Brock Lesnar would make sense, but sense doesn't trend on Twitter. Sense doesn't generate millions of impressions across every social media platform. Sense doesn't bring in casual fans who might tune in just to see if Logan Paul gets his head kicked in by CM Punk.